So I promised myself that I would make a video today. And if all of you can't see that, I am lying down once again in the bed. Don't worry, I have my boxes on. Nothing is on hard, so it's not that kind of video. But yesterday, I should say, marks the 50 years of Loving versus Virginia. And quite frankly, there are going to be a couple of people who will reflect on this for the right reasons. But as we know, in this part of YouTube, there are going to be some people who will reflect on this for their own selfish, nefarious reasons. And for all you guys out there who are like myself, who don't see too much of a future in the so-called black community, well, for starters, I want to say welcome to the club. Drinks are over there, brownies are over there, and seats are over here. So feel free to take a seat and listen to our side of the story. Listen to the side that I lean towards, and listen to basically welcome to my world. The world in which most of the partners that you've been with have been outside of your race. A world in which most of the partners you've been with not only have been outside of your race, but even getting rid of the white females that I've been with, non-black women that I've been with exceeds the amount of black chicks I've been with. And this is counting Afro-Latinas or Caribbeans and Africans as part of that black group. So when it comes to quote unquote sisters who I've been with, I mean, yeah. But a lot of you are wondering, well, what are you trying to get to? What point are you trying to make? Well, a lot of these females that are on YouTube who are, since the thug thing didn't work out with them, they think that swirling's gonna save the day and swirling is the way and blah, blah, blah. Well, quite frankly, a lot of us don't have to worry about swirling for one reason. For us who know what we're doing, it comes naturally and effortlessly for us. But for some of you out there who may not have the same results or don't see it as easy, don't worry. There no fear. This is my contribution for you guys. I'm giving back to the community. I'm feeling generous tonight. So sit back for a bit. Take the first row seats because I think a lot of you guys are going to need this. So you see how a lot of these females out here are able, or at least appear to be able, to easily jump shift after they've screwed and boned every, not Tom, Dick, and Harry, but every man, day, and little twin. And then all of a sudden they decide to go, well, then they want to scream at every Tom, Dick, and Harry. But they won't give you a chance. Nah, the good black men for them doesn't exist. Well, in your case, I think you realize at this point that a lot of women, when they want a black man, they want something that's a bit more authentic. But when I say authentic, I don't mean authentic in the way that the media sells blacks as authentic. And by that I mean bumbling, mumbling, over-emasculated, over-emotional stereotypes. The first thing you all have to realize is that a lot of you who tend to date outside your race do for some reason seek the attributes of quote-unquote sisters. Meaning she has to have some sort of swag or attitude about her. She has to have a big ass dough. And she has to have that feistiness that for some reason a lot of you have been socially programmed to love. Although in reality, a lot of this mentality, if you go with this mentality of looking for the same attributes in non-black women as you do in black women, all you're going to get are walking land whales or cash me outside mud sharks. And trust me, as black men in general, we have enough of those guys, not only gladly cleaning them up and taking them, being real life garbage men, but masquerading and parading them around as if they achieved something. And I'll be the first one to say, if you have a woman outside your race who basically has the same attributes as your everyday scraggle daggler, you might as well just date the scraggle daggle. Because quite frankly, you're the kind of guys who make it harder for men who want to date outside their race and want qualities of women of other races to do so successfully. Alongside that, for you men out there who want to date outside your race. Now, there are a lot of you good black men out there. I realize there are a lot of good black men who are being screwed over, who are being constantly belittled, who are being constantly argued, well, not argued, but being demonized and scapegoated as what's wrong with the so-called black community. When you know damn well you're the last person that these scraggle daggles need to be blaming. But here's the thing. A lot of you all need to epitomize what a lot of these women call educated lames. Now, when they say educated lames, I get it. Yeah, there's some people who complain about certain black men being uncharismatic and not having enough swag and not having enough charisma or a mouthpiece. But these are the same females who will go after the nerdiest, dorkiest, and blandest white or non-black guy there is. They won't demand him to have swag and have charisma and have character. No. All he needs to do is just come up and don't fuck up. But they don't demand that from you, so I don't take that as any sort of credibility. But with some of you guys out there, the mistake that a lot of you do make is this. A lot of you tend to be lame, but not educated. And by lame, I meaning you all epitomize stereotypes of blacks. But basically you epitomize the stereotypes. I'm just going to say it like this. A lot of you all speak country as fuck, type country, or street as fuck. And no, I'm not saying this to sound elitist, but if you guys are going to be considered educated lames, be educated. And not just when you're at work or when you're in the classroom or when you're turning in a paper, doing an assignment. Look, presentation is everything. And when a lot of these hood rats like synthetic you-know-who, synthetic weave, and the girl who swirls brings up all these ad hominem attacks about beta black men and black men who are uneducated and can't talk or speak or shit. When I see some of you guys making videos and especially making comments, you all are verifying what she says or what they're saying. Quite frankly, you all, and I include myself, we have to be better. We have to break stereotypes, and we have to break the perception, because not only are these scraggle daggles who hate you are criticizing you and using some of these guys as perfect examples, but other people outside the race, mainly certain men of certain races, use this example as well. Notice how in the media, for instance, in the 2000s especially, the 2000s to today, a lot of the black men who are being propped up are over-emasculated, undereducated, and quite frankly, emotional. You all have to be the antithesis of that. You all have to epitomize, even if you want to say all the positive stereotypes of black men, but none of the stereotypes, and none of the negative stereotypes of black men. So be it. You have to be better. And there are many other examples on how you have to be better than your average man of all races. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about this. The welfare state has done a shitload of damage to black men, not just financially and socioeconomically, but psychologically as well. And it's up to us to raise above that. I already told you about one group who is historically and internationally faced more atrocities and more calamities than the African American black has. Look how they responded, and look how the world treats them now. There's no reason why, especially in a place even like the United States of America, as much as all of you complain about it, there are opportunities here to be made, not just financially, but in the world of reputation. It was being done in the late 20th century until the welfare state caught on, in which more niggas were being made than blacks. More niggas were being born than blacks. And as a result of that, we have the bullshit we see here today. But there's no reason why we can't reverse the trend, even if it means dating, marrying, and breeding outside your race. And as a lot of these black people like to say, although I highly disagree with this, well, if you have one drop of black in you, that means you're black. But, and as I said, I'm all for calling people how they are, calling a spade, no pun intended, and calling mixed people mixed. But if they want to play that, if you're mixed with black, your black card, then make a new black community of people who have a higher mindset. And it starts with you. That doesn't start with worrying about what hood rats and bet wenches say about you, even though they've only dated the worst kind of black men. That doesn't start with worrying about which hoe made an Instagram post about their carpet. No, I don't give a shit. You shouldn't give a shit. And it damn sure doesn't start with worrying about which chick called them lame and corny and all this other shit this week. Look, I moved 2,000 miles as a statement to say, you know what? If I'm not wanted in the so-called black community, then I'm out of here. I know where I'm not wanted. And where I am right now, yeah, it's not perfect. And I know there are a lot of people who would rather have me not here. But trust me, the adversarial, the desire and want versus the undesired and unwantedness of me being a black man in this part of the country, the odds have shifted in my favor noticeably in the past year that I've been here. And whatever it takes for a lot of black men to finally realize to go where you're wanted, and I don't mean just in the sense of location, but I mean in the sense of relations. One, you're going to have to improve yourself and be the best you. And alongside that, once you do all you can internally, when it comes to physical attributes, mental attributes, academic attributes, socioeconomic attributes, once you take care of all that and people still don't recognize your work, then it's time for you to change your environment. And I don't mean just in location, but I mean in mentality and sexual desire. That is the way you can take full advantage of the Loving versus Virginia law that was passed 50 years to the day. You don't need bet wenches and other people who are seeking white advantage to be the only beneficiaries of the law. There's no reason why you as a black man or you as a man or minority man in general, why you can't take advantage of that. Hispanic men have been taking advantage of that ever since ever since whites came over here. Native American men, same thing. And Indian men, Asian men, even though there's a war, there's an Asian gender war in which a lot of their women are selling out and being their own kind of bet wenches. And a lot of Asian men are figuring out how to make their own way too. And Arab men, well, I mean, they have their women in lockdown, so why the hell they need to date out anyway? But anyway, look, to the black men out there, do you? If people don't recognize that, then get the hell out of Dodge and make your own manifest destiny. For everyone else out there, always bet on X.